What about it, YouTube? Alright, I don't know how I missed this, but apparently there's been a group of, I'm not sure what they call themselves, intellectuals, who have a monetary theory called MMT, Modern Monetary Theory. And I guess maybe they were just under the radar for the longest, and now they have some kind of a textbook that they put together. And I'll put a link for everybody to check them out. They're 90 something percent about what I've been trying to explain for years. And so, coincidence, I guess, people are coming to the same conclusion when they really study into things, and you take an unbiased and unemotional approach at just looking at everything that goes on and the history of it and how it's gotten to this point and the lessons we can learn from history about money and what money is and how the Fed works and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They come to the same conclusion. And spoiler alert, they come to the same conclusion that the system we have now is really, really awesome. It's super awesome. And Trump right now understands that you can use our system right now to borrow at zero interest, and even the government can get away with borrowing at negative rates. They can get paid to borrow money. And since they can explain in their words better than I can some of the concepts that are basically the same, though. The United States is not going broke. There's not some dude that saved up his paper route money and has trillions of dollars? Where did he get these dollars? And then he loans them. It's not a zero-sum game. And they explain it their way, but that's what I've been trying to explain too. It's not a zero-sum game. Sorry about that. I'm getting COVID, I guess. I just need a drink. Excuse me. I'm trying to get it. I'm trying to get the premiere version of it. But anyway, yeah, it's not a zero-sum game. For some guy to have a house, another guy doesn't have to be homeless. For some guy to eat, someone doesn't have to starve. We've been taught that it's this competitive zero-sum thing, and if you don't just climb over people, they'll climb over you. So you just better scamper, and that's part of the problem too, is the greed and the. I was raised to not be greedy, but I was raised to be a saver, to be a saver. And I would say that part is strange when you start to really understand not only how things work, how the economy works, but that it's not biblical. They'll say save for a rainy day, save for a rainy day. I'm not saying not have any savings. I'm not even saying not have a little rainy day savings. But people just, the whole idea of saving for your retirement, when is that ever going to feel right to you? When are you you're going to just work and scrimp and put every little extra bit of whatever into a 401k, a Roth, some kind of money market. You're going to, play the stocks a little bit. It's maddening, and it's all gambling, and you could die tomorrow, man. And what you don't need, if I was to do a scratch off, I don't need the scratch off where I win $2,000 or something. I want to win the scratch off where I get $2,000 a month for life. Right? Or, what you need is to be secure, and to have what you need up until you leave this earth is enough to cover your daily whatever. That's it. All the savings for what? For what? For what? So that you can give it to your spoiled, rotten kids who are gonna go join Antifa at this point? It, uh, it doesn't make any sense. There's no reason to be wrapped up around some kind of hoarding of money. That's strange. Hoarding of anything is strange. Hoarding of money is strange. Making money an idol, like wanting money to be gold, is strange. These MMT guys are really good, and they have done debates with the Austrians, and in my view, they blow the Austrians out the door. But I also understand that there's so much ingrained, the attitude of competition and the notions of how things are paid for with taxes, and that I hear it all the time, like, oh, look at that cop eating a donut on taxpayer money, or it. It's not how it works. It's not how it works at all. And the only thing that I would like to talk with these people about, to try and just throw some ideas back and forth with them, is I would like to see money be a public utility. I'd like to see it handled like to be mentally considered like and thought of as a public utility. And that instead of having banks that issue money to people, it would be like a public utility house, and that they would charge simple fees to cover their expenses, their overhead, but they would be able to issue credit on demand just like any promissory note works today. It's no different than it works today. It's just there's no stockholders and interest rates and all this other junk, that's this usury that's imposed on the little guy. Just take away those restraints. They're evil. They're decried in the Bible. But the idea that MMT has is very similar to mine, and I think it replaces Andrew Yang. I think it's miles ahead of Andrew Yang. When I heard Andrew Yang and when Trump started coming up with Trump bucks, I'm for that, because that's a taste. That's a taste of what I'm talking about. And if people can get their minds around Andrew Yang a little bit and get their minds around the Trump bucks at zero interest, that there's no problem with it. Okay, take your Trump bucks and be happy. It doesn't hurt anything. It doesn't cause inflation. It's hyperinflation. QE doesn't cause inflation. Haven't we seen? Hasn't the economy wrong, Paul, and all you gold bugs? Hasn't it proven itself that you guys are wrong? Oh, it's just making it bigger when it does crash. It's just make Weimar Republic. Da, da, da. You guys, you're lost. You're lost. You've made money an idol, and you're lost. It's proven itself that a sovereign that issues its own money can never go broke, and it can cover any black hole, no matter how large or small. Not that we should have an economy that's trying to create black holes. There are problems in our economy, but the nuts and bolts are not evil like they try to claim. Fiat is not evil, not at all. There's the public utility house idea, and getting rid of the idea of banking and banking for profit. I'd like to discuss that with them, and I'd like to discuss, if I could, with them the idea of free health care. They have an idea of free health care too, but I would just like to discuss some of the ways they look at it and the ways that I've kind of thought about it in my mind. It's pretty similar. They talk about giving people like a $5,000 credit. $1,000 of it you would use for preventative. You wouldn't be able to keep any of it. The other $5 would be for whatever else might happen. If you use it, you use it. If you don't, you put it in your pocket. and anything over the 5,000 is covered 100%. I would just say, just crap is, maybe give you the preventative or whatever, but crap is covered 100%. Idea, whatever. But some of this stuff is maybe minor. But check out MMT. I'll put a link in the description. And I don't want this video to go on too long, so peace out.